Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone, time for our Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Today we're going to do scenario, well, I'm calling it scenario number 3. I don't think there's any numbering here, but the third of the 3 scenarios that we can do in career mode on the London-Faversham high-speed route. This one is called Frost Fall. I did say it was going to be a little bit late here. I think it is going to be. I'm actually taping this late on Saturday, so you're probably going to see this on Sunday. If so, I hope you're having a good weekend. Thank you for coming along for another ride in the Class 395 EMU high-speed train. And Frost Fall is going to involve a drive of the 395 from St. Pancras, making our way towards Faversham. It is winter and a snowstorm is on the way, which may disrupt the journey. Now, it's interesting this is only a 60-minute scenario, not a 70. So I'm assuming we don't have as many stops on this run, or we may not be going... No, we are going all the way to Faversham. We're doing the whole route, so we must not have as many stops. That's the first guess I have in regards to what's happened here. This is supposedly also the hardest of the 3 scenarios in career form, even though the other one up here we can't get a full score. So yeah, we'll ignore that detail. But let's get started and see what this winter journey brings. Today you will be driving from St. Pancras. Usually your journey would take you as far as Faversham, but a snowstorm has been forecast, and it is likely that there will be some disruption. Load passengers here at St. Pancras and drive carefully. Okay, boss. So I move the reverser forward. There's the AWS self-test. I'm going to hit the P a couple times to turn the circuit breakers on the pantograph and actually put the pantograph up and then close the circuit breakers. That means I can now turn the headlights on now that the AWS test is done. Let's get our screenshot for the day. That's a good one. That's a fantastic screenshot for the day. Something like that. I'm just getting several angles and I'll pick one. But something like that is a good screenshot for the day, don't you think? Alright. Let's get ourselves ready to go here in about a few seconds. The passengers have boarded and the train, the passengers have boarded the train and you are ready to depart. That's what we're going to do. Now I should give you a disclaimer on this scenario. I've already tried it a couple times, the first part of it, and I've come to determine that this scenario is next to impossible. In fact, the last attempt I had gave me a 2-point penalty at Ebbsfleet International for driving perfectly. So I'm going to do things in a way that you should not do them. Namely, I'm going to try and stop early. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to probably be penalized for that on upcoming stop. I'll just say that right now. I'll be penalized on upcoming stop. You can see I have a yellow signal up ahead. So I move to a P3 throttle, and I now have a double yellow signal. That will upgrade quickly, so I'm not too concerned about the signals at this point. That will upgrade very fast. So I'm going to get myself around 24. This first section we can do very casually. It's the next section we can't really dilly-dally on. I didn't calculate the uphill gradient here. That was my goof. We still have the time on this section. It's okay. So we have a double yellow signal. It's now a green signal. That means the next signal will still be a double yellow signal because it's just too soon, but that will probably change green quickly as well. And as soon as that signal changes green, what's probably going to happen is every single signal following that will also turn green because the high-speed section will then be accessible. Oh, I can go 40 now. I was braking for no reason. There's that green, like I said. The reason why I think all signals just turn green once the train has entered far enough in the high-speed section is because the high-speed section takes over telling you what to do. So... Okay, I got my brake on in time to stay within 40. Which is miles per hour. Now I'm converting to kilometers, so 60 kilometers per hour is our current limit. That's going to quickly change to 100 and 160 as we're following this train. So I'm following fast enough that I saw a 100 on the display for a moment there, very, very briefly. So we are following fast enough to see that. It is now 3 signal blocks ahead of us, I believe, by the 160. We're now getting a hard 170. That is apparently our speed limit in this section. So we're going to keep that in mind. We're now getting a flashing 170. So yeah, the train is still within range. We can't forget the train is still within range. In fact, I know the train ahead is going to stop at Stratford International like we are. I mean, all trains, I think, on this route stop at Stratford International. I believe that's the case. So I'm not even going to go the speed limit. I'm just going to stay at under 150. I'm already going at a good pace for maintaining my timing here. The idea is to avoid having to stop at the signal that precedes the station, the signal block. Because if we have to stop at that, we're going down to 0 and it takes a little time to get back up to speed to get in the station. There's a chance of being late that way, or at least being slower than you want to be, taking the next section into account. So I'm trying to game this to the point that I can get to the end of the platform and have as much time as possible to complete the next section in time. That is the objective. As long as I don't get a hard 170, I'm in good shape here. Yep, that's not a hard 170. We weren't going to get it here because the train ahead is slowing down. I'm probably not going to have to go down to 100, but I'll slow down a little bit anyway. Okay, I'll slow down a lot. Nope, 170. I'll leave it where it is for now. So 3 signal blocks from now is the possible red. I think this time I do have to slow down to 100 because I am going to probably get a slower... Nope, 130. I'll still get a slower speed up ahead. I guarantee it. The train ahead of us will not leave Stratford International until I believe 17:05. It may even be at Stratford International now. Let's look at the map. Yeah, there it is. It's just pulling in and stopping right now. There was a little bit of movement on that, so it was literally just stopping. I have to get down to 60. I will do that early in this case, because I do want to game the signal following this. I'm going to actually go a little slower than 60, if I can. Since I know this train's departure time is going to probably be 1 minute before our arrival time, that's a good way to game it. I'm actually taking the speed down to about 40 at this point. That'll do. So the train should be leaving now. We'll get in the next section quickly enough so you can see what's happening up ahead. There's our 000. The train is in the station, but as you can see, it's leaving. Another train is coming in on the tracks to the right of us. We can now speed up to whatever speed we need to come into the station. We're going to do that. We have a red up ahead. That will change as the other train pulls away. So I put a minimal brake on, but I'm going to put a stronger brake on further in the platform, like now, because we're going 50 kilometers per hour. That's a little too fast. We kind of want to stop for the timing now anyway, so I put on a max brake. I've gotten fairly far along the platform, so I'm happy about that. We're going to open the doors here at Stratford International on platform number 3 as we get our hard 80 up ahead. Leaving Stratford International, I'm only going to say welcome to hell at this point, because this is the section I don't like. We're going to get our train up to 80 kilometers per hour as we head to Ebbsfleet International Platform 6. We will not get to 80 before our speed limit changes to a 100. as based on past experience, and it will not get to that either because we're going to get a 170 first. So we're going straight up to 170, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing it as quick as we can. And I'm going to give myself the best possible chance to complete this scenario with a top score. I almost got to 100. I got to 92. That wasn't bad. That's a good start. It's a good start for the end of the platform. We just got another beep. I think we actually started catching up to the train briefly there ahead of us. That's actually a good setup to have that. If we're getting beeps, that's probably a good sign that we are right where we want to be in terms of our spacing. That could be very good for us if we can pull that off. Thank you. No more beeps. Okay. Just a rogue beep, I guess. So we're going to get up to our 170, and we're going to carry on like nothing's wrong here. Because technically nothing is. So I see we're on a slight downhill. I've taken the speed off, and now I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. I see this 1 in 250 is not affecting us. So I'm going to go between 170 and 169 for the rest of the journey. I should say 169 and 170. You might occasionally see a 171. The bright side about this section is you can go 171, even 172, and not be caught speeding. The problem, of course, is if the emergency brake triggers, you get penalized for the emergency brake, and you lose all that time, at which point you might as well forget the scenario. Yeah, I noticed 171 is about 106. In fact, even at 170, we're getting a 106. Yeah, 106 even at 169. So we're staying at 106 in this little range that we're in. That's really interesting. I'm not sure if it's 5 or 10 kilometers over the speed limit, but sometime very small distance above the posted speed limit in the train, the emergency brake will trigger and you will get pulled down. What I'm doing is I'm trying to maintain an average speed of 170. So if I go down at 171, up at 169, I should maintain an average of 170. I think we're getting a little bit of an uphill modification here that's going to hamper us. So we're going to have to apply a little more throttle on that uphill. I called that. Very good move there. Okay, I'm going to stay under for a moment just so I can play with the throttle a little bit when I get to the uphill. I'm now down to 11 miles to go. Note the HUD is in miles, even though the train is in kilometers. If you look very closely, you can see there's an up-down arrow on the speed as well. I'm going to zoom in slightly and hide the HUD for a moment. So you can see when I go up, this is why I don't like hiding the HUD. I'm now in a downhill section. This is a bad hide. You notice the arrow moved to up, so you can see that I'm now gaining speed again. But as soon as I take the throttle back down, it will go to decrease. Since I'm on uphill, this is dangerous right now, so let's just zoom back out and drive properly here. We are on straight ground again. Okay, I'm going to have another uphill that's going to affect me up ahead, so I'm going to kind of go with 170, 171 as my speed right now. I think that's a good way to do this. Oh, I don't want to keep it there. There we go. Oop, don't do that. That's an uphill. So we had a slight decrease there on the uphill gradient. I think we have a slight downhill now, so I'm trying to maintain that. There we go. Yep, going speed up on the downhill. That's what I want to see. And now we're losing it again. So there we go. Back to normal. So it's now 17:13. We have 8 miles to go. Or that's 6 miles to go, 7 miles to go, something in that range. You know what? Let's read it properly. 6.5 miles to go. There you go. I can never read that HUD if it's a 5 or a 6 or an 8. They just look so darn similar. But 6.5 miles to go at 17:13. Ooh, I think we got in range of the train up ahead again. That is unusual. We just got a double beep there. We might be at the right speed, guys. Oop, don't do that. I see an uphill starting now, so we're going to keep that in mind. Yeah, we're going to have to fight this uphill now. This gradient is going to affect us. So let's go to a P2, P3. We're going up, so P2, P1. Another uphill is coming, so I'm keeping that in mind. Decrease. Okay, we're going to increase it again. But we do have a downhill coming up that we have to manage as well. So let's not overdo this. Okay. One more increase. I'm going to try and decrease from there because I have a downhill. Here we go. We got a beep again. Not a normal beep. So we must be in very close range behind this other train. I can't see any other reason why we'd be getting beeps right now. We should get a flashing 170 at the next signal. I did not want to decrease yet, so we're going to go back to idle throttle. At the next signal, we are going to have to start decreasing to 100 kilometers per hour because we're going to be in range of our station at that point. That 60 up ahead is miles per hour. There's our 100 declination right there. So we're going to get our speed down for that. I'm trying to do it at a pace that will allow me to maintain a smooth decrease while maintaining the speed limit. I didn't do it at the right pace, so I'm going to keep the throttle on for a moment to maintain. And I need to decrease it after that. Okay. Here we go. Now I can go back to a P3 setting. And I'm going to go between 2 and 3 as we now have a hard 100 coming up. 100 kilometers per hour, which is 60 miles per hour. That's the 60 sign on the HUD right there, so we can just maintain that as a 60. We are at 59.5 miles per hour. We have an 80 coming up. That is not at the next signal, but the problem is because we have a signal right there that's going to check our speed, we have to go down to 80 kilometers at this point. We don't really have a say in the matter. So 80 is what we have to do. I don't want to increase it this time. So now we're getting a flashing 80. We are now at the minute that we have to stop. So now we're going to have to plan our stop very, very carefully here. The way I'm going to do this is to start applying the brakes now. And I'm going to go to a heavier brake. Not a max brake yet. I'm going to get slow enough that I can get down to a decent braking speed. Like, right, thank you. That's warning that we're ending the section where we do the, where we have to go into third rail mode. I'm going to open the doors very quickly here. I'm going to do the third rail switch. I should be on time. I managed it. So we're going to hit I to change the mode. We're going to use P again. We're now under third rail power. Breakers are closed. We're good to go as soon as our stop is complete at Ebbsfleet International. It looks like the storm has started to gather. The snow will start falling soon. Continue with your journey for now. Okay. Well, we know we're making 5 more stops, so I think that gets us to about the Gillingham area. We'll find out. So leaving Ebbsfleet International, our next stop is Gravesend. We are now under miles per hour. So you can see that the throttle, or I should say the speed on the display on the train now matches the HUD. So technically you could do this completely without the HUD now if you could actually see, which I can't because I don't really have instrument lights on this train, so I kind of have no choice. Like, be honest with me, do you see instrument lights here? I sure don't. That's the worst instrument light I've ever seen. Holy cow. So we're getting warned of the single yellow aspect. This is not good. This is not good at all. Our next stop is 1723 at Gravesend. We're only a mile and a half away from that. At our current speed, we'd be there in 3 minutes, so I think we're going to get a red signal up ahead. Well, that's a yellow. I think I see a yellow now. Let's zoom in and make sure. Yeah, it's a repeater saying that we are clear. So the next signal is currently yellow. We're going to have to go a little bit faster to maintain the time. So I'm going to assume at this point that the way does stay clear. I'm going up to 45 for a moment. Close to it anyway. I'm going to peer at the signal up ahead using my binoculars. Handy dandy binoculars. It's a yellow. We have one more signal before Gravesend. I have 2 minutes to make my stop. I should be good. We do have a speed limit of 30 entering the Gravesend area. I did not consider this, but since I had yellow signals, I had to drive cautiously anyway. And since we're following a train, I know that by this point. I think we actually are going to need to stop for a signal. You can see the repeater is telling us we do have a red signal. So I am screeching this thing down to a halt for this red signal, while trying to maintain a slow speed so I can still hit the brakes. So I can still get a little movement, I mean, before the signal changes. But I'm not going to succeed at that. I'm going to have to stop at this signal, I think. The train ahead should be leaving right now, so it should not be long before we can move. I'm maintaining a little bit of movement here. There is our movement on into a 30 mile per hour section, and I am really questioning the timings in this scenario now. I really, really am. So we're now under the 30 mile per hour speed limit. There's a 20 at the end of the platform. We don't care about that right now. We just have to come to a stop. I think I need heavier wipers. We have a red signal. Hopefully I got enough brakes to not trigger an emergency brake. Okay, we are at Gravesend. Welcome to Gravesend. If you hate snow, get off. I didn't mean to pause there, but anyway, we're at Gravesend. No message from anywhere, so we're going to go ahead and get some speed back here. And we're going to depart Gravesend, heading for Strood, our next stop. We do have the yellow signal now. The double red is a platform end, so we're not going to worry about that. Or a track end. I can't see a thing. Let's look outside for a second here. I can't... There's the view of the front of the train. Yeah, I can't see much. It's a little too dark here now for my liking. We know we're under a single yellow aspect, but we're also going slow enough that it should not be an issue. We can go 30 now, by the way. We can go 70 as well. So we're going to start speeding up towards 50 because that's the next sign we're seeing. I don't understand this 70 here. I really don't. Our repeater is saying we are clear, which is good because I didn't even pay attention to that. I just guessed it would be clear, which is not how you're supposed to drive. But we do have a single yellow, so I do have to assume now the next signal could be red. That said, I'm looking at my timing, and I'm actually angling to be slightly early. So yeah, maybe it is red. Maybe it is red. This is a really, really long section, so I'm a little antsy on what's going on here. I can't see a thing. I literally cannot see. That's a yellow. Okay, I can see it now. I could not see a thing. I legitimately couldn't see the signal. That had me a little panicky for a moment. There's a train going by right now. So since that was a single yellow, I still have to keep my speed under the speed limit. I can't go the speed limit. There's a whistle board. I kind of want to see a double yellow on a signal. That way I know I can at least go a decent speed. That's what I kind of want to do right now. It looks like I'm being timed at a slower speed, which is actually a very positive thing right now. Oh, yep, still being positive here. That's good. You can see the yellow up ahead there. That is a single yellow. I want this to turn double yellow in my presence. I want this signal to turn double yellow. Green. Okay, we'll take that. Line speed. Let's go. That is what I call ideal. You know, there's no point keeping these wipers on. I can't really see a thing. All this for seeing a signal every 45 seconds. Gosh, those things are noisy. So you know it's at least a yellow, because we definitely saw a green as we passed it. It's going to stay yellow now, isn't it? Oh, double yellow. I'll take a double yellow. That's good. That is very good. That was the station, by the way. I don't have the name on hand right now, but if you know the line, you know what that station was. There's only one. I want to say it started with an H. Higgins or something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Higgins. I don't remember. I think that's a single yellow aspect, which means I now have to hit the brakes. Darn it! I could pass this signal. I could spad here. Thank you. That's a red. Brakes. Okay, I got a minimal speed now. I'm happy about that. We'll keep moving forward. Just as I stop, it turns yellow. Thank you! Thank you for nothing. Well, I went to line speed as instructed, and I got a red signal 3 signals later. So, yeah, we can't really go the speed limit here, guys. We now know this. We're going to add to this that we are 2.8 miles away from the station, and we have 9 minutes to get there, which tells you a little bit about what's happening here. Everyone's going slow. Oh, there's actually 2 stations. Okay, I forgot there was 2 stations here. There may be subtitle text here, guys. There's a red there. Confused passengers may be thinking I'm stopping here. I am not, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay seated. Speaking of passengers, why don't we say we address them right now as we get a yellow signal? Ding dong! Attention passengers, I can't see a damn bloody thing out here, so you're going to have to accept the fact that things are going to be a little slow this evening. If you are worried about potentially coming to a crash in this snowstorm, please hug the person next to you, say a prayer, and give me all your money, and I will make sure everything is good and safe for this evening. I just ask you all not to press the big red button because that will scare me out of my pants. Thank you. Now that's taken care of, let's concentrate on our driving again. Next signal is 0.6 of a mile away from us. I think driving at 30 miles per hour is currently acceptable. We could actually go slower than that and it would still be acceptable. Very acceptable. So I have a feeling I'm going to get more reds. So in case you haven't figured it out from the scoring, we're going to be stopping our train early. I think we're going to get our message either coming into or while we're at Strood. I'm going to guess while we're at Strood, we're going to get that notification. That's just my best guess. That looks like a yellow signal. I'll zoom in on it to show you. It is a yellow signal. Hard to see in the snow, but... definitely a yellow signal. I'm trying to maintain a good enough speed so I don't get a wheel slip penalty having to come to a sudden stop. So I'm knowing that I have a long enough signal block, I'm taking advantage of the opportunity to gain some speed within the signal block. And then I'm going to drop that speed off either by holding the throttle idle like this, or by using a little bit of brakes before a signal, just if I can't see what it is right away and if I don't know if it could be red. So I'm going to be using a little bit of brakes at some point here. What I'm trying not to do is to, because I think there's a 15 as we get into Strood. In fact, that might be the 15 right now coming up. I'm trying not to handcuff myself to a slower speed where I need the time for my timing. So we'll see what happens here. We are 1 mile to go, and we've got a... actually, there is Strood right there. That's where the 15 proceeds. I knew that, too. So I think we're going to either have a train stopped up ahead for a moment that we have to wait for, or that train might be pulling into Strood and might be dealing with an emergency with the train having to get off the line so we can continue or something. I don't know what's happening up ahead. We have a red, though. This is confirmed. I need to slam this thing down. Just as it turns yellow. Thank you. Thank you very much. We could have just gone, 25 this whole journey. We would have been fine. We could have just kept going 25. I don't even see the signal now. Oh, we passed it. Okay. That would be why. I'm going to go up to 30 for a moment longer before I have to cut it to 15. But I'm going to brake well in advance for the 15, and then we'll see what's happening for the signal. Bring it down to 15 early so I can pay attention to this signal. Because it's probably going to be red the speed I'm going. Okay, take the brakes off for a moment. That is a red. Yep, let's bring it down. Yes, I'm aware. Thank you. This is the last signal before we enter Strood, so we have to be there in 3 minutes. Approaching the signal still a little too fast here. I think I'm going to have to actually stop here, and I don't want to do that. I do not want to stop. Hello, there's a train leaving. He's heading to Dagenham. I have a yellow. Because I don't know how wheel slip's going to respond, I'm trying to limit to a P2 right now. This would be a lot for me to have to redo if I have a penalty. So even though we can go 15, I'm going to leave it at 13. Actually, I'm going to leave back down at 12. Because I have the time. Oh, that was stressful. But we made it to Strood. We're going to come to a stop at a convenient spot at the end of the platform here, and we're just going to wish our passengers well. I think our signal ahead has upgraded. Ooh, I panic broke there. So it is a single yellow. We have a junction because we're taking a turn off the Medway Valley line onto the Chatham main line. We'll deal with that later. For right now, let's bring our train to a stop at Strood, platform number 1. No information yet. Okay. Leaving Strood, our next stop is Rochester. We are starting at 15 miles per hour. We're going to get moved to a 20 mile per hour speed limit. We now have a green signal. Our arrival time is in 3 minutes. Probably not the regular timetable. This is probably an adjusted timetable because we were driving slow in the snow. But now I think this section is going to be driven at speed limit because the train that was ahead of us is probably cleared by now. It might have been a Medway Valley line train, so we're probably cleared to take our junction as needed. We're seeing a yellow up ahead now, so yeah, I guess it is still going slow. Maybe we are following a train after all still. So I made it up to 20. We can now go 30, so I'm going to go up to 30. But because we had a yellow signal, I don't really want to stay at 30. So maybe 25 will do for now. What do you guys think? Or 26. Let's see what the signal up ahead says. We have a train coming. That is another Dartford train. Shouldn't say another. It is a Dartford train. What is my signal saying? It is a non-green signal. I know that much. That is a double yellow. I couldn't even see it through the train. There we go. That means I can go up to 30, no problem. I'm good for 30. I don't think I need to go all the way to 30. I'll be at the platform before the minute I need to stop, which is very good. Chatham is right behind, and I think I'm going to be stopping at Chatham as my final stop. Just my guess. That or Gillingham. Now, I have not really reviewed the procedures because I'm trying to keep this a little bit of a surprise, but I sense that we're going to be parking the train wherever we let off as our last stop. I don't know if we're going to Gillingham and then parking the train outside of timetables, meaning that we do it on our own, however long we need, or if we're going to Chatham and making the Gillingham stables our final stop for timing. I don't know which is the case here. We're going to find out, though. Won't be long. If Chatham's our last stop, I expect to have a message here at Rochester as a pop-up telling me what we're going to do. Because I kind of have to tell my passengers what I'm doing too, you know what I mean? So this is arrival at Rochester literally 2 seconds early. That is not bad. The large amount of snow that has fallen has caused some technical issues further along the line, and the way is blocked at Newington. Oh, that's unfortunate. You will be able to finish your run up to Gillingham, but you will have to take your train to one of the sidings after dropping off passengers there. Well, that means our next stop, Chatham, and that's our penultimate stop now. So let's continue on. Leaving Rochester, our next stop is Chatham. We will address our passengers, just so they know what's going on. Attention, snowbirds.
We are going to be finishing our service short at Chatham, terminating short at Chatham. No, sorry, I'll try that again. We're terminating short at Gillingham today because our boss has decided a technical issue is making it impossible for us to continue. So we are not going to continue. We're going to kick you out of our train at Gillingham. Make sure you collect all your belongings and things that you were planning to let sit for a little while longer. We cannot, unfortunately, continue. So I'm kicking you off the train. Thank you for traveling with us, and we hope to see you soon when we can move again.
Good news is we're getting yellow signals here. So this tells me, since we were told we're going to be moving the train to one of the sidings, that means that we're going to be doing that ourselves, and it's not going to count for points. I'm okay with that. Since we just passed the time we need to be stopping at, we're going to open the doors here at Chatham Platform 2. Leaving Chatham, our final stop is Gillingham. Let's just make sure our passengers heard my last announcement. Ding dong!
For those of you who were asleep 2 minutes ago, just a reminder, this train is terminating short at Chatham. Those of you who were continuing on to Faversham, I assume a replacement bus service will be provided, but as I don't drive the buses, I can confirm to you that this will be the end of the service with me. I hope you have a lovely evening, and thank you for traveling with us.
So we are getting a speed limit increase. This certainly feels safe, doesn't it? Based on my math, we have to follow it. Let's just check the signal ahead. That is some kind of yellow signal, I believe. Yeah, that's a double yellow. I didn't see red, so I figured we were okay. Now we're entering a 60 that I really don't care about because we're going to be stopping at Gillingham. Ah, I see the path has been set for the siding up ahead. They have already cleared the line. So it looks like the place we're going to be stopping is indeed Gillingham Train Wash. We're going to get our train wash, boys! Yeah! Since that was a double yellow, I know that we have a single yellow at this signal, so I'm not concerned about checking the signal right now. I'm just concerned about coming to a stop for our passengers to get off, so they don't get washed with us. I mean, if they want to spend the night at the train wash, I'm not going to judge them, but that costs extra. We don't give showers. This is the first time I've been above 40 for a while, by the way. But yeah, you might notice too, by the way, no points on this one. So this is the last stop, and as long as we get our perfect score here, it's our fault if we lose it. We have a red signal right now, so I assume the train up ahead is still clearing into whatever siding it's being moved into. All I have to worry about is getting the doors open now, so I'm going to do that. And it is going to be literally right on the second at Gillingham, our final stop for the day. Well done, driver. Although you were unable to make it to Faversham, you managed to complete all of the timetable on time despite the weather. Oh, that one was hard. I'm going to pull up to this red signal. We're going to just kind of hope that it changes as we pull up to it. Yeah, we are pulling to the end of the platform at Gillingham. All of our passengers should be off by now. Yep, that's nice and clean. There you go. There it is. Okay, I knew something was going on. Just a quick peek at the map. If I go to where I need to be up here. Oh, that's what I was waiting for. Okay, I was waiting for this Rainham to Rochester train. I get it. I get it. How was the path set for me if I was waiting for that train? Maybe that crossing is not a junction. I'm not sure. Anyway, since we don't have to worry about speed limits now, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I don't break the 15 up ahead. That's all I'm worried about at this point. So continuing out of Gillingham Station, we will not be continuing to Rainham. By the way, if you're wondering where Newington is and where that's relevant to our journey, Newington was not this one. I think it was right here, I believe. No, that's not it. No, where is Newington? Okay, I don't know where Newington is anymore, guys. Wait a minute. How is that train continuing? Oh, it's stopping at Newington. Okay, we'll check on him later. We'll check on him later. So we're going to stay at 15. We're going to stop inside the yellow. This is one case where we do not want to pull up to the buffer. We will also get our entire train inside of the yellow. That is my objective at this time. Put the whole train in the yellow. So we're now leaving the main line. You can see that we have been junctioned off. The train has moved slightly off to the right now. The back of the train is now being pulled off as well. So now we can come to a stop off the main line. Quick look at the map to see where that other train is. He is now over here. So Newington is right there. The blockage is at Newington, so traffic cannot go past Newington today. So that's where this train is going to stop. He's going to finish his service from Swanscombe, and we're going to finish our service in the train wash. Seems appropriate, right? I guess we need a shower. Now, we're not inside of the train wash yet, I should point out. The sign we're in right now, the yellow right now, that is a waypoint. So we didn't actually have to stop at that point. It's not shown as a waypoint on our screen, of course, but it was a waypoint. So now I want to go ahead and get this train stopped at the train wash. That's a train going by on the main line. Who's that? Where's that going? Oh, that one's stopping at Rainham. Cool. They're continuing to Rainham. So, yeah, Rainham is still open. He's good to go. So we're out of his way. He can go. We need to stop now. So this is our stop point. And that's the end of the service. Let's look at our train. Well, sometimes Mother Nature has a say in things. We could have taken the service to Rainham, but our scenario was for Faversham, and we didn't get to finish. Oh, well. Not our fault we couldn't finish. We were told to pull off here. That's pretty much how it works. Anyway, the Rainham service continued on after we got off the line, which is good. We got an achievement. London-Faversham, obviously. The Ice Javelin, I believe, is what that reads as. And there's no message saying we finished, so we're just going to go to the scoring screen. Yep, Ice Javelin. I read that correctly. You scored 1,000, 0 experience gained. Okay. I don't know why that one's broken, but that one is broken. I I got the score, but it's a good thing the experience doesn't matter, or I'd be a little upset right now, because that was hard. That was hard, guys. No, I have not completed this scenario yet. This is the first time I've completed this scenario, so the zero experience bug is a thing. The zero experience bug is happening. I probably could do the replacement thing with some other short scenario and clone it into here, and it would do the job to get me the experience, but there must be a bug with this scenario where the experience is not counting. I don't know why that is. This is a really old DLC. They're not going to fix it at this point, so it's really up to us to do our own things to make the scenario experience count, but again, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Just get the score and call it a day if you even care about scores. And given that about probably 0.5% of the community cares about scores, there you go. In any case, that's the end of the main London-Faversham scenario set. We, of course, have the 466 for the Sheerness branch, and we, of course, have the 465, which is spread across many routes, least of all this route. We're also going to see it on the Chatham main line, and I think we can also see some scenarios on that use the train on other routes as well. London to Brighton, we might see some 465s going by in the areas where they normally run in custom scenarios. So who knows? We might see them on other routes as well. We're going to see them on obviously the Chatham main line all the way to Dover and Ramsgate as well. There's that possibility too. So there's lots of routes in this game that DTG has had their programming on, and that include the 465. The Armstrong Powerhouse 465 is also there, and it will. I think it's on the Chatham main line too, but I have to check where the scenarios are for that and if I have all the stock for them. So yeah, there's all sorts of things we can do with the 465. We are going to come back and introduce it here because this is the route that it was originally introduced on before the Chatham main line came out 2 years later, or 1 year later, depending on the release of the 465 DLC. The route, I think, was 2014 or 2013. So Chatham main line was 2016, obviously extensions later than that. So the 465 was included with the Chatham main line because it was already as a DLC, and because it kind of made sense to put it on that route. So there you go. That might be how most people actually got the 465. In any case, we're going to go ahead and call it a day here. I'm talking too much now. Call it a loopy scenario, just causing me to be even more loopy. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for the Tuesday video, but I am looking at possibly doing a Class 66 scenario because it is the 25th anniversary of the Class 66 this year. And I think they're celebrating it in this time frame right now. So we're not going to see it really on a passenger run. So it would be kind of funny if they actually put the 66 on a few passenger runs as a celebration, just to say to passengers, hey, look at what train we have here, guys. We're celebrating this train. But they're not going to do that. It's a freight train. So, by the way, I should be proud. They were built in London, Ontario, which is a city that I did live in at one point. So I do know the Class 66 has a Canadian influence on it. And that's one thing I can be very, very happy about, that we had an influence on your rail system, guys, on the freight. Kind of a shame our rail system is crap over here. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I'm Cyclone. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. I'll see you next time to celebrate probably the Class 66. Don't know where yet. I'll figure it out. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.